Hi, welcome to part 2 of the XT250 by Yamaha review and ride on purplecollarlife. I'm Chad, and on this part 2 we're going to be talking about some of the control features and some of the things about this motorcycle that I really like, and then we'll continue on our ride across the purplecollarlife property and exploring on the trails. But first, if you haven't watched part 1, go ahead and click up above. I'll put a link to part 1 of this Yamaha XT250 review and ride. Now today I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the things that I really like and the controls before we go on to the second half of our ride. And these two handles are something that I really like. There's one on each side. And their purpose is to be grab handles for the passenger. If you're riding two up and had someone behind you, this is where they can easily hold on. They're very sturdy handles. But I use them all the time for maneuvering the bike, whether it's here in the garage or in the woods. It just makes a great sturdy grab point to move around. The XT250, like I said, can be ridden two up. It has foot pegs that fold down for your passenger. The foot pegs for the driver have some flex, so if you do tip this or catch something, these will flex. There's flex in the signals, so like I said before, this is a street legal bike, but the signals do have flex, so if you tip it to the side, they'll flex back, or if you catch a brush or a piece in the woods, they'll flex and return to the normal position. There is shielding on the exhaust, keeps your legs safe and protects the exhaust. There is protection here underneath the engine, so if something flies up or if you catch the part of the log, this will protect the engine. Now I know a lot of people do put a skid plate on top of this that protects the engine a little bit more and protects the bottom. I've never seen a need for that. I'm not riding this extreme, just riding through the woods here at my house. I like that the XT250 has the separate fenders. So the front half of the fender extends high like you'd normally see in a dirt bike, but the back half is much closer to the tire and protects you from a lot of that mud or water spray as you're riding. Now let's take a look at some of the controls. I forgot to mention the XT250 does have disc brakes drilled both front and rear. So there's the front. You can see there's the rear disc brakes. The XT250 controls are pretty standard. The front forks and steering does have a lock position, so I can take the key out. This is locked so that someone couldn't try to take the bike, they wouldn't be able to steer. You can hear the fuel injection kicking on. So it does have a display, shows you the time of day, your trip, your speed, total mileage. On the display cluster you can see it shows that I'm in neutral. It does have a low fuel light indicator. There is no gas gauge, but it does have that indicator, turn signal indicator, and check engine light, and high beam indicators. So when I start the bike, these will become active. If the start button is this button on the right hand grip. So those were here. This switch makes the high beams. This is your turn signals. You just flick it to the side you want to turn. You can see the signal is flashing. To stop the signal, you press that button. If you wanted to go right, flick it to the right. Press to stop. There is a horn. Typical motorcycle horn. This handle on the left side is the clutch. This is a manual shifting motorcycle. So clutch between gears, 5-speed. Over here we've got that start switch. This handle is your front brake, your throttle twist, and you've got a kill switch. Really easy to learn, really easy to ride. It does have a locking fuel tank. You see, you just pull that cover, put the key in, twist, and the cap comes off. Like I said, I do have the Wolfman tank bag. It's a bag that I really like. There's a nice clear spot here. I'll put a link to this. Nice clear spot if you wanted to put a map, or you could put your phone in there. This is a water resistant tank bag. The flap covers over the zipper. Plenty of room inside for lots of storage. Different pockets. You can see here there's some zipper pockets. Got room inside. It's got a divided area. It's got this pocket behind. If you watch my XT250 wash video, you'll see that this comes off really easily, just 4 clips. And you can remove the tank bag, take it in the house with you when you park this. So yeah, let's get out there and get on this second part of our ride. First time through is the easiest. Second time through is the hardest if you choose the same line, because you've already rutted it up. Still have the trail wing tires on this, I believe is what they're called, and they are good on the road, not great in the mud. Gotta keep your balance and keep your feet ready at every moment. It's so slick. Between the gas right away and the electric right away. Take a picture here real quick for the Instagram post. It's a big electric right away. You can see at one point they removed the poles and replaced them. There's several of these poles laying down through this right away that I would love to have. I mentioned in a previous video that our property is a lot of spring fed, and it certainly is. There's a lot of creek crossings, and it's pretty swampy in some areas, and it's a lot of really good springs that feed that land, but it creates a lot of creeks and makes more difficult to maintain paths through the woods. You need a lot of bridges. When I was a kid on the three-wheeler, I would ride, oh, there's deer. Not to scare them. Watch for a fawn. I would ride from one end of this right away, which matches up to one road, to the other end, which matches to another road. It's a long ride. And there used to be a path to the left down there that went in. There's a turkey. I've seen a deer and a turkey so far in this short little strip. I was saying there used to be a road down here, probably still exists, that goes the back way to that field that's called the 40 acres. I always called that road the toilet road because for some reason back here in the woods someone had thrown an old toilet. There goes that deer again. Again, like I said, it rained for weeks, still muddy. So many springs and so much water in this area. It's actually still ponding there. Avoid that. Another nice thing about the XT, it's so narrow you can just go to the side to avoid the things you want to. And this grass is just high enough, I don't know if you can tell, there's mud underneath. It makes it hard to see what you've got ahead. I know that there's these two big ruts here from the log skidder. Little notch between this tree that broke, perfect for me to get through. A little bit of a barricade here across our travel. That is a big Pennsylvania tree. You can see it pulled the entire root up, and you got to be careful with these because they will actually sometimes pull themselves back down into that hole. And I think probably, it looks like someone cut this, cut a little notch in it, and that would be difficult because it could snap back as soon as you cut that. And you eliminate all this weight from leaning it, that big root section could pull itself back down into that hole, and this could snap up. These Bridgestone trail wings are not great in mud. They are knobbies, but they hold that mud. It cakes in there, and you just can't get any traction once you've got some mud in them. This is why I need a little bit bigger tractor to maintain these paths better. I love the paths that Mike and Melissa have on Outdoors with the Morgans. They're so well maintained, they can just hop on their Ranger and take an easy ride. My great aunt used to sit on that rock to hunt and look down over the long hill. This is the top of the sled riding hill. See, Dad mows the main part and brush hogs the other parts. And it's hard to tell, I'm sure, on the camera how long this hill is, but I'll tell you, if you're on a toboggan or someone's laid a pretty good path in the snow, you can go a long ways down. We've gone as far as those pine trees that you can see way in the distance. Obviously, the more people you have sledding, the better the path gets, and the further you go each time. So as I go down the hill here, you can just pretend you're on a toboggan, and it's snowy. Biggest boost of speed right here. Gotta watch out for the ditch in the field. Take you back up it so you get a better look going up. Sled riding hill seems pretty easy on the motorcycle, but when you're in the deep snow and pulling a sled back up with you, that's a long haul. We always try to have a tractor or the four-wheeler, or this year we used the Ranger to tow people back up so you don't have to work so hard just to enjoy that ride down. You can see there's an apple tree right there in the center. You got to avoid that. We try to always make the path for the sleds right here, but inevitably people go off track, and I think Mackenzie's had to bail a couple times when she's headed towards that tree. Some old hay. This section of field is still used for hay. This section of the field, that just mows like a lawn. We come out and hit golf balls in it. Thanks again for watching this video. If you like videos like this, please click that subscribe button and the bell notification. We put out videos about tractors, our dual sport vehicles, land and property maintenance and management, boating and camping, so a wide variety of topics. We appreciate you tuning in today and look forward to seeing you in the future.